Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So if you're getting into administration and the operations space, you have to know how to use Google Tools. Today, I'm breaking down the entire Google Workspace lineup for you. Think of it as Google's answers to having everything your team needs for communication, collaboration, file storage, and the whole nine yards. It's kind of the version of it's kind of what Microsoft does with Teams, except that Google's approach is a little more spread out across different apps. So you can't just download one app. You can't just download one Google app the way you can download Teams 365. So let's get into it. We'll kick things off with the email situation. Email is obviously the star here, and here's what makes the workspace version special. For the paid plan, you can ditch the gmail.com address and use your own business domain. So you can look professional with your own custom email address. In this case, for instance, it would be info@supportsurvey.com or hr@supportsurvey.com. So, moving on, for storing your documents and other stuff, there's Drive. If it's like your cloud filing cabinet where you can put all your files. So you can upload whatever you need, access it from your phone, your laptop, wherever. And the best part is that your whole team can jump into the same file and work on them together without asking who has the latest version, who should I get this file from. You can just see in the folder, this is the file you're working on, and everybody can be working on that folder, that file at the same time. Everybody can be working on the folders at the same time. So when it comes to actually writing documents, that's where Docs comes in. Docs is like MS Word, but it's on your browser and everyone can type in it at the same time. You can watch your teammates edit in real time. You can work at the same time. So for all your spreadsheet needs, Sheet is your go-to. It's basically like Google Sheets, Google's Excel. Sorry, it's just that it actually has the same formulas, the same functions, and everything. But there's really no difference between them. It's just that the sheet has like a more modern look. I used to confuse the two, like why is it called Sheet? Why is this called? It's just that one is owned by Microsoft, and the other is owned by Google. Now, here's something that technically separates it's technically separate from Sheets, but it can be merged with Sheet. It's called Looker Studio. I used to struggle with getting analytics from Excel because again I'm not a very technical person, but when I learned how to use Looker Studio, it changed everything for me. If you have data that you need to you know make it look impressive and all of that, you can use this tool. All you need to do is to hook it up to your spreadsheet or your analytics and pick a template, and it will give you a pictorial representation of your data. You can even use this with your YouTube if you wanted to get YouTube analytics, or you wanted to show off your YouTube analytics. You could just link your YouTube to this Looker Studio, link your website to Looker Studio so that you can display your SEO or your basically any data you want to collect. Now, for presentations, you can use slides. Slides is like Microsoft PowerPoint, but here you can build your deck, you can make them pretty, you can collaborate with other teams, you're not just stuck working by yourself, and you don't really need to go all the way to download anything. You don't really need to download any software to use it. Just go online. It's on the works. It's online. You open it. You open your Gmail, and then you do your work. So it's unlike Microsoft. You don't need to download Google Slides, right? So it also has a lot of pre-made templates. So, but that's also something we have on PowerPoint. So you don't need to stress yourself. Just type in what you need to type in and make your slides in very little time. So you have a lot of pre-made templates, and there's also, if you want to skip the design work, yeah, you can use some of those templates. Also, it has a more modern interface. Like I said, that's one of the reasons why a lot of times people choose Google, workspace tools. For the communication side of things, instead of using WhatsApp, you can use Chat, Google Chat. Chat is more like your team hangout, and It's more like when your team hang out and message each other throughout the day. So you can send direct messages, you can set up group chats, you can send file drops, you can organize video calls and the likes. This is like a very good way to communicate if you're working with a team. Think of it as Google's take on Slack or Teams, although maybe it's not quite as feature packed as Slack, right? But it does the job well and it's free. So, well, moving on. When you need to actually see people's faces, that's where Google Meet is for. Or when you need to have like a video call, video conferencing. Google Meet is a video meeting or webinar screen sharing platform. So you get all that stuff. You can showcase your screen, you can share your screen, you can see your, make like a video call and all of that. And it works like Zoom, and here's one thing that differentiates it. When you're setting up your Google Meet, you can, when you're setting up meetings in your calendar, you can automatically just send the link, Google Meeting link, to everyone who needs to join, and they just simply join. It's very like they just simply join. So you share, okay, so and so day we have so and so meeting. Here's the link. So you can even pre-make a link for next week. You can set it up today, send it. So everybody has the link in their emails. They simply join the meeting when it's time to join the meeting. So calendar itself is also pretty self-explanatory. There's this feature where people can book time with you directly. They see when you're available, they pick a slot, they book your time, and it's done. So it's also very easy to integrate. I don't know why people use several other tools, to be honest. I feel like Google tools covers almost everything, and they are trying as much as possible to constantly update these tools to compete with other tools in the market. And the fact that it's free also is like a major thing for me. Any company, any startup, any small business can set up these things to work for their business, right? So if you need to collect information or feedback, you have forms. With forms, you can build survey, questionnaires, whatever you need. There are a lot of different question formats, and you can also use it for anything from like getting customers' opinion, or if you want to check in with your employees, you want to reach out to people for basically anything. You can use forms for basically anything. Now, for quick notes, if you wanted to make quick notes and lists, there's also Google Keep. Google Keep is not as robust as something like Notion, but it gets the job done. For simple stuff like maybe voice notes, to-do lists, reminders, you can just sync everything. You can put everything, attach everything to your Google Keeps, depending on what you need. And one feature, yes, this is my favorite. This is one tool I love. It's called Google Sites. Say you're building basic website, right? And you don't know anything about coding, and you don't want to use Cloud AI or any of these AI tools to code. You can simply just build it from using the template or from scratch on Google Sites, right? You can build Google Sites without knowing any code. It is it's not like the designs are actually perfect or as if it's going to win any awards, but if you are looking for quick personal site or those small projects you need to just create a website for, you can use Google Sites for it. And you don't need to have any knowledge of coding or web development, and you don't need to spend a lot of money. And it works great. When you're in a paid plan, you have access to the admin console. That's one difference between a paid plan and a free plan. That's like one major difference. The admin console is like the mission control for your for managing everyone's account and access. And this admin panel will, like all the accounts are under the admin panel. So you have to give people like separate accounts, right? You customize an account and give to your team members. And all these admin accounts, they're under, all these individual accounts are under the admin account. Now, if you're managing all this, you can manage all these accounts from the admin panel. The admin panel gives the workplace owner control of how people interact with their businesses. And this is actually a lot better than using individual accounts, because once the admin can regulate permission and access from that admin panel, the admin can install apps, control the settings, and manage who can do what on within that workspace, so that when somebody leaves, maybe leaves the company, you can instantly lock them out of everything. And once you do this, they immediately lose access to everything, as opposed to when it's an individual account. You now have to go back and start restricting access. From all the access you give them, you start restricting access. That's a long that's a more difficult thing to do. Now, one thing is that having, the premium subscription, it makes life a lot easier when you're dealing with a lot of people. But unfortunately, the free plan doesn't give you access to this admin console or admin panel. So it doesn't give you access, and everybody works individually. Now, Google Workspace is very interesting. Like, I prefer Google Workspace. That's the paid plan. But as a small business that is not looking to spend any more money, you can still set up these tools for yourself to make things work out, to make your business work out, to help, regulate things. It's just going to be, it's not going to be as professional and as organized as having the paid work tool or the paid workspace plan, but it gets the job done. Now, in terms of pricing, Google Workspace has the cheapest offering on the planet now, right now. But the problem is that these tools cannot easily compete with Teams in terms of variety, in terms of how you can find everything in one app, right? But regardless, whether Google Space, whatever Google Space lacks in terms of variety, it makes up for in terms of speed and ease of integration. You can easily come out and see log in with Google on almost every website. But logging with Microsoft is not something I don't know, maybe it's because I use Google a lot, but logging with Microsoft is not something I have been used to. Right. So, this is a full rundown of the main Google tools that you would use if you are an administrative personnel, if you're in the administrative support space, right? If you help people, virtual assistant or project managers, if you help people run businesses, organize their day-to-day business operations. Now, over the next few years, few weeks, sorry, or few months, we're going to be working through different tools. We're going to also be making like clear step-by-step tutorial on how to use these tools. We're also going to start where most work starts. Maybe we'll start from emails, how to manage emails. I don't get know, but we'll see what the trend is like and what's most important. So for the next just if you don't want to miss anything, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. It's going to be a very interesting journey. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.